Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I thought I would just do a sit down chat with y'all and give you some life updates. Just something a little different than I normally do. Life has been hectic and crazy. If you guys watch my channel, you know that my mom came and stayed with us for my third and final month of maternity leave, which was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We loved having her here. She was so much help, and it was amazing to see the bond between her and Nathan grow, and just like all of the developmental milestones that he hit while she was here. It was amazing. So she left this last Saturday, and it was hard. I guess I didn't realize how homesick I was. I'm one of those, I do really actually well away from family. It's nice to have the distance and then miss them and FaceTime them, but I feel like the reality of just having her here, especially now that we have a baby, like before it was just me and Rowdy, and so the space was great, but now I really wish that we were closer to family so that they could get to know their grandkids. But grandkid, only one, y'all. But we do only have a year and a half left here in Washington, or not Washington. Where's my brain? Sorry, y'all. It is the evening. I just got Nathan down for bed, so my brain is out the window. But in Guam, year and a half in Guam, and it's looking like we have a high possibility of going back to Washington. Like I said, we do have a year and a half left here, but we are trying to finagle, by we I mean Rowdy, finagle our way back into the projects world, which it's looking like it's probably going to happen. Obviously, we're not going to have hard orders or anything like that for like another year or so, but it's looking like a high probability, which would be great because we would be back close to family, and obviously being back in the States in general, we can go visit Rowdy's side of the family, my in-laws, and they can get to know Nathan as well, so that will be fantastic. But like I said, having her here made me realize just how homesick I kind of am. And then to follow it up, she left Saturday and I went back to work on Monday, and I think just the shock of having him in care, like obviously I work at a child development center, so he goes to work with me. He's in the classroom. I am a clerk, so I didn't think about how hard it was really going to be transitioning to daycare. I really didn't have a stress or worry about it my entire maternity leave, and then I think that Saturday, just my mom leaving and just the realization that I was not going to be with Nathan all day long, I spent the morning after my mom left just crying, like just a wave of depression. And maybe it's just my postpartum, like mommy hormones, but I bawled my eyes out, you guys. Like I just felt so sad. And I just want to share that with y'all because it's not always just happy times here on my channel. I go through waves of sadness too, so just wanted to be real with you guys. But yeah, I bawled my eyes out. I didn't want Nathan to be in daycare. I wanted to stay home with him. But then on the other hand, I love my job and I want to go back to work. So I had a weak moment, but we're over that one. So had a weak moment Saturday. Sunday we were good, and then Monday became the day to go to work. Work was fantastic. So I get to see all my little kids, all my families who I've missed and they've missed me, catching up. So many conversations. I got to meet one of my subscribers that actually reached out to me. She's now one of my families, so that was really awesome. And yeah, that aspect, but also the aspect of Nathan being in daycare all day really upset me. And like I said, I am a front desk clerk, so it's almost a blessing and a curse at the same time, because I have the cameras at my front desk, so I can look into his classroom and see how he's doing, which it can be very distracting because I just constantly want to check on him, but also it kind of hurts me if I see that something's not being done the way that I would do it. Obviously, him being at home, like, he hasn't had, if he cries, he's picked up. And when there is a ratio of 2 employees to 8 babies, like, he's gonna have to cry it out sometimes. And that's just a realization that I'm going to have to become okay with if I continue to work. And that's hard for me because my mom's been here and me. And so, like I said, if he cries, he's picked up. He's constantly being stimulated, whether that's doing tummy time or being put in his bouncer or in a swing or going to the pool or the beach or to the hotel, like whatever we're doing, like we kept him busy and he was in like high stimulation, and I feel like developmentally he was doing really well. So then for him to be in an environment where like just being placed on a mat underneath like a toy and that's where he is for an hour, that's a little bit hard for me, but we're getting better and I've seen a lot more interactions. So I have faith that everything is going to continue to be smooth and I'm going to be able to continue to work is the plan right now. Like I said, I'm not ready to give up my job. I love my job. They've missed me. The other aspect of that, my job, is normally I am a part-time employee. I either work 6 to 12 or 12:15 to 6:15. And going back, since I've been gone for 3 months and there hasn't been a replacement, so we have a full-time clerk and then me, the part-time clerk, and she's been doing everything herself, that there's just so much that has fallen behind in 3 months, and we're getting ready for audits and inspections. So I have been working full-time hours, so I've been working at 9 to 6 every day this first week, and it's a lot, and I feel like I haven't seen my baby at all, which is also something that's really hard to grasp. So Monday was, like I said, the hardest day. The first day having to get me and Nathan out of the door, and bottles, and packing stuff, like pump, figuring all of that out, that I think I was just so exhausted and just overstimulated and missing my baby that I came home and I bawled again, like bawled. But the rest of the week went so smooth. So like I said, I have high hopes, hopefully, for the future going forward, but every day is a new day and we are just overcoming those hurdles. In addition to my mom leaving and going back to work, we were also dealing with a whole household issue that was a nightmare and so stressful. And of course it couldn't have happened like in the middle of my maternity leave. It had to happen like the end of my leave. So the last week that my mom was here, we started smelling this like an acetone paint thinner smell in our house, so bad. And we've smelled this before and we've always just like chalked it up to like, oh, the neighbors must be painting, because we are a duplex. But this time we took it a little bit more seriously because we do have the baby in the house, and Rowdy came home one night and it was so bad that finally he was like, I'm gonna call maintenance, because we weren't smelling it in our garage and the laundry room, which is the wall that we do share with our neighbors. So we were like, maybe it's something else completely. So we called maintenance. They came out, they did smell it. So they started investigating it, and they continued to investigate it over the week. They brought out a tech to check our AC. They brought like their radar scanners, didn't pick up anything. They couldn't figure out what it was. Then they tried to tell us like maybe it's your gas cans that you're keeping in your garage, which gas and paint thinner acetone, 2 different scents completely, but kind of a pain in the you know what. They made us remove our gas cans, our pressure washer, our lawnmower out of our garage, and we had to air out our garage. And then they came back and they were like, call us again if you smell it. Obviously we did smell it because it definitely wasn't our gas cans. And Rowdy's like, that's the hill I'll die on. Like everyone in the neighborhood, let's face it, keeps the gas can or their lawnmower. They were trying to tell us that we needed to empty and drain the gas from our lawnmower every time we used it, and yeah, no, not gonna happen. But obviously it wasn't that. So then they're continuing to investigate. One of the safety officers comes out and asks if he would be okay if they brought the fire department, Fed Fire, out to inspect and bring their radar guns, because they have radars that detect anything and not just like the AC one. So of course we agreed. And of course they didn't just bring like the fire truck, like the little actual truck. No, they brought all of the fire engines. So we were having a block party at our house on Thursday morning. We had like 2 fire trucks, a fire vehicle, we had maintenance trucks. So all of my neighbors of course are messaging me like, what's going on at your house? Is everything okay? Do you need anything? So they started walking around with their radar guns, weren't picking up anything. Eventually they decided to close the doors, and let me just mention that they did smell it immediately upon entering. Like there was like 5 or 6 of them and they all smelt it. And might I mention that at this point I wasn't smelling it at all. You know when you just become nose blind to something and you don't smell it anymore? So when the safety officer came to ask if Fed Fire could come out, he asked if we could still smell it. I said no, and then he said, oh really, because I can smell it radiating out of your house right now. So obviously a little concerning, but Fed Fire came out, all of them could smell it, and they started walking around with radar guns. Nothing. They shut all the doors, and at exactly 15 minutes all of their radars started going off that there was some sort of toxic chemical in the air. So they did it multiple times. They took their radar outside. It was picking up 0 outside, and as soon as they'd walk inside, shut all the doors. At 15 minutes, they did it like 3 or 4 times. It would start alarming that there was some sort of toxic gas in the air. So they started freaking out and were like, you can't stay here. You guys need to get out of the house. They wouldn't even let my mom stand in the doorway on the back patio with Nathan. So all of this, Rowdy's still at work. So I'm like calling him at work, trying to be like, hey, like this is happening right now. So he finished up his meetings and came home. So all of this is going on. We had to get approved for TLA to be able to stay in NGIS, which is the Navy Gateway Inn Suites. So we ended up getting put into NGIS for the night. They only approved 1 night of TLA, which was a pain in the butt because this happened early Thursday morning, like 9 a.m. So we had nowhere to go all day long, which is super fun with a 3-month-old, 2.5-month-old, and my mom and me, and didn't get approved till like 5 o'clock at night. So we eventually got to go and relax somewhere, and yeah, pain in the butt. So then they put us up for 1 night, which sucks because then we had to clear everything out of NGIS the next morning. And of course we wanted Nathan to be as comfortable as possible, so we brought his bassinet and like different things. And then the next day the overall base security came out, brought their radar guns, and this is where everything kind of halted. So they brought the overall base safety officer, and this was obviously, we had been smelling it all week. Our house from Fed Fire got vented out, like every door open, windows whatsoever. And so when they walked in, their radars didn't pick up anything. Like our house has been vented for how long now? And he hadn't been there like with this ongoing thing for like a week and a half, so he didn't smell anything, and he's the one who wrote the reports. So he walked in within 5 minutes, was like, yep, it's safe to go inside, you're all good. Fed Fire didn't calibrate their machines, and yep, you're good. So basically just like, because he didn't smell it, just everything went out the window. Even though like 15 to 20 different people from like different agencies have all been smelling it at this point. So they didn't handle the situation very well. We had housing managers who even refused to go in our house because they said that it smelled so bad that it was going to give them headaches. So that is what we dealt with. They told us we could go back in. We tried to fight it. I I don't know what we really wanted out of this. We either wanted them to identify what the smell was or to move us houses, because when Fed Fire, when the whole original thing came out and they told us we couldn't like be in the house, they were like, we're gonna put you in NJS, we're gonna move you houses, and I'm like, what? But so long story short, we are still in our house. Rowdy's working on writing a report up of his own and submitting probably an ICE complaint and some other complaints. We have the command involved, especially because of the fact that several entities don't agree with the safety officer and are being told to rewrite the reports. One of the safety officers who was working on our case for like the entire period was told that he needed to revise his report. And same with the fire department. We're working on trying to get the pictures of the alarms that they took and see if we can receive their report. But it's just a hot mess, y'all. So never a dull moment, but I think the stress of that, the stress of my mom leaving, the stress of going back to work was just a lot to handle. But yeah, that wraps up the chaos that is my life. What's going on in your lives? Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear. Like I said, it's always something, but I thought I would just like sit down and do a video with y'all about my life and what's going on. So if you liked this style of video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel if you like following along. I do vlogs, now I guess sit down videos where I chat with y'all about my life now, unboxings and all sorts of stuff. But that is what's going on. But we officially have a 3-month-old on our hands. This boy is getting so big. Tomorrow I need to film his 2-month update because I never filmed that while my mom was here, and now he's 3 months, so I need to film his 3-month update. So stay tuned for lots more content coming your way, but I will see you next Friday for another video. I have been rambling and chatting about myself for I think like almost 20 minutes, so I will see you guys later. Bye.